What's going on, guys? This is Aaron with Departures Capital. We're here with Matt Stang, co-founder and CEO of Delic Corp. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have you back. So you want to start by giving us an update since we last spoke. I know it wasn't too long ago, but tell us what you've been up to.
Well, things keep moving. We signed the definitive agreement with ketamine infusion centers, the chain of ketamine wellness centers in Arizona and California. So we are now signed, definitive, and should be closing in the next 2 weeks or so. Plan to expand that business and really become the leading psychedelic wellness clinic business in the United States.
That was, I guess, the big news over the last little while, that you signed that definitive agreement with Ketamine Infusion Centers LLC, bringing a physical retail chain to Delic's portfolio. So what does this mean for the company?
Well, it really means we have, the entire customer journey. So people can learn, they can find out, and they can actually actively do something. So I think what's really important is we've built this ecosystem that allows people to discover, to be curious, and then once they've found what they're looking for, they can actually go and do something about it. So with ketamine infusion centers, you can go in and get psychedelic wellness. You can get a psychedelic assisted therapy with the only legal psychedelic in America right now, which is ketamine. So I think that's super important. And, folks with PTSD, treatment-resistant depression, anxiety, mood disorders, just a whole range of things. It's such a huge benefit. My wife and co-founder, she has an anxiety disorder, and she's found incredible results with ketamine. So it's just, for me, this is incredibly personal to give people that access, that safe access. And we really feel like, ketamine infusion centers has really cracked the code on making this accessible, making it really reproducible, and really a great experience for folks who are dealing with mental health issues. And I think it's just, this is part of mainstreaming psychedelic wellness, is making it accessible and making it available. So when people want to know more, they can actually find out more on Reality Sandwich. They can come to our Meet Delic events, and then they can go and actually try psychedelic wellness at our clinics. And I think that's incredibly important.
Wonderful. So how big is the opportunity for the psychedelic wellness market?
I think it's trillions. I really do. I think that wellness is a multi-trillion-dollar industry right now, and that is real, that is existing, and that is happening. I think psychedelic wellness is just getting started, and I think it has the potential to grow, billions of dollars in every direction and trillions of dollars top line. I just think that there's just the number of people with PTSD from this last year and a half, from the pandemic, from the death and sickness and all the, I don't want to bum anyone out, but it's been a rough year and a half. And we're not even through the trauma to get to post-traumatic stress disorder, right? So there are billions of people who have been through the most traumatic year of their life, and we're coming out the other side, knock on wood. But it still has a gigantic effect on people, and you see it every couple of weeks. Major news organizations are talking about the mental health crisis, the suicide crisis, this crisis. And guess what? None of the psychopharmaceuticals, none of the current crop of pharmaceutically derived substances for psychiatric conditions do much better than 4% every year. So 4% of people get better every year. That means 95% of people are not better. And that's a humongous addressable market. And that is just the mental health side. Now, on the wellness side, I think that's where you get from the billions to the trillions, right? You have stuff like microdosing, which has incredible efficacy for mood elevation, for energy, for creativity, for function. So that's where you get into that kind of full-on supplemental wellness world, which is just a massive opportunity. So I think when we look at that, we have our company Delic Labs, which we closed on a little over a week ago. And, so we have a Health Canada license for psilocybin. And so we're working on kind of naturopathic products around psilocybin that can be available states like Oregon and other states and municipalities and countries that allow for therapeutic use of psychedelics. And we think that's going to be a humongous market as well. So, when you ask what the total addressable market is, how big is it going to be? I think it's going to be massive.
Yeah, I agree as well. So can you tell us what you mean by a self-sustaining ecosystem for psychedelic wellness?
Yeah, well, the way we look at this is, we have a range of websites, events, podcasts. We have a really self-sustaining ecosystem. So people can go and they can want to find out more about psychedelics. They can find it on Reality Sandwich. They can go to our event in Las Vegas, November 6th and 7th, to learn about psychedelic wellness. And then they can go to one of our clinics to try psychedelic wellness. So what we believe we've built is a very interesting ecosystem where one thing can feed the other, and all of those things will help people discover, find, and really live the best in psychedelic wellness. And I think, part of this is that right now there's a few very large technology firms that control the access to people, right? And in the case of psychedelics, they're still in the gray area. So you get shadow banned, blocked, and stopped from marketing to those people. So what we've built is our own direct pipeline to the people who are interested in psychedelic wellness. So we can't be cut off from those people by an algorithm or a shadow ban. And I think that's really important. And a lot of other people are just looking at this as one part of the whole ecosystem, while we've really tried to embrace the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's very unique about Delic. So explain to us the company's overall approach to wellness involving elements such as clinics rather than just a reliance on meds, and what the big differentiators are from competitors.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way we're looking at this is that, a lot of the current crop of psychopharmacopoeia, a lot of the current substances that are there for helping with mental health, require you to be stuck on a pill every day. You're kind of stuck in a haze. You don't feel like you have highs or lows. You're just kind of in the middle. And I think that's incredibly important for creative people who do tend to have some form of mood or anxiety disorders, but they need to have some flexibility to still be themselves, to still be human. And so what we found with psychedelic therapy, with ketamine specifically, but we also feel, that our clinic footprint will be the picks and shovels, because every molecule, every novel psychedelic compound that comes online will require a space like ours to actually activate that compound. So what we see is that we've built a framework for people to come get wellness and still be their own self. So if they come in and get a series of ketamine treatments, they're not stuck on a drug every day. They're not stuck in a kind of median, non-creative space. They're able to still be themselves, and then they can have their therapy with ketamine. They can get their reset of their brain, and they can come out of it not stuck in that fight or flight kind of angry PTSD brain that people have to deal with. And it helps you reset your pathways, and then you're able to go. And then if you need to top it up, you can come back to the clinic, but you're not stuck on a substance day in, day out in a funk. And I think that's just such an important thing. And then when you look at our competitors in the space, I think what we've really looked at is making it accessible to all. We're not going after the 0.1%. We don't want, I'm not saying we don't want the investment bankers with their own private planes. We'd love to help them, but we think that the masses really need this. We're really focused on making this accessible to everybody else, right? So making it insurance accessible, making it price accessible, putting it in smaller places that might not have as many people but need it just as badly. I think our focus is making this the largest chain of accessible psychedelic wellness in the country, and that's where we want to be.
That's very exciting. So what regulatory changes are coming up that you see offering an opportunity for DELC beyond ketamine?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you have the two big ones that are mid stage 3. So you have mdma and psilocybin are both in phase 3 clinical trials with the FDA. From what I've heard, results from both those trials will be in by the end of the year. And, considering the massive need and the powering magnitude greater efficacy, meaning, current drugs are 4 to 5%. These are 50 to 70% effective. I would see some form of approval for both psilocybin and MDMA in 2022. And maybe full approval on both, just because there's no other good addressing for, really PTSD and depression other than ketamine, which exists right now. And so having a broader toolkit. And so I think that will give us, more quivers in our bow, more paint in our paint kit, whatever, however you want to say it. We'll have more different modalities and different novel compounds to work with. And then there's easily 30 to 40 novel compounds that are in phase 2 clinical right now. And those are probably 3 years away. So we think building this large scale footprint will allow us to really be the go-to for people who are looking for safe and effective psychedelic wellness as those substances come online. And I think it's really important.
Awesome. So what will be the key challenges over the coming months, and how do you plan to tackle them?
Yeah, well, I think it's really just helping people understand why psychedelic wellness can be so effective, and really, we're going to be scaling, we're going to be opening new clinics, we're going to be really going forth and bringing this model to the rest of the country. And I think that the challenge is always execution, right? It's about making sure that you do what you say you're going to do. And I think what the team that we put together is so fantastic, and has been helped build multi-billion-dollar worth of businesses across our entire team. We understand what you need to do and how, and it's just it's about getting it out in front of people, making sure they know it's there, and delivering a safe, effective, and consistent result for people. And that's of course the challenge, but I think it's also the opportunity to come out here and really build something that is scalable, cash flowing, and really a real business that is part of this psychedelic revolution.
Definitely. So what's the best place for investors to find out more information, or where should they go?
Yeah, so we have a website, deliccorp.com. You can trade the shares on the OTC, it's DELCF, or on the CSE, it's DELC. And we have Twitter, Instagram, any other way that you'd like to reach out, or if you have any questions, we have contact on the website. We'd love to hear from you. And we really think it's a great opportunity to get on the ground floor on what I think will be one of the greatest opportunities in the last 50 years.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Matt. And I know that we'll have you back on for more updates, as you guys are always up to a lot of things. So thanks a lot again, and we'll have you back.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say, if you do support me, the channel, and all these videos, then kindly smash that like button, along with hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos. I did also want to say, check the disclaimer down below. This video was sponsored by the company that we are talking about today. So check the disclaimer, full disclosure, and we're out of here. Always remember, guys, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you make your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.